Hey everybody, what's up? And welcome to today's edition of Everyday NEECHY. Yeah, today we're live. I'm kind of excited about that, and I'm excited that you guys are joining us today. I'm really excited to have this conversation because so many people have so many questions about the PPP loans, all the special loans, the unemployment, the stimulus checks. There are tons and tons and tons of questions. So today I wanted to have a conversation about that. And I want to be able to take your comments so that you can share with us what some of your comments are, what some of your questions are, so we can get them answered today on Money Monday. While I'm waiting for you all to come in, hit the share button, hit the like button, and hit the follow button, and make sure that you are following NEECHY on all platforms so that you don't ever miss out on anything dope that we're doing right here on Everyday NEECHY. Also, if you guys have not had a chance, I know you've been seeing it on social media, our No Fear, All Faith t-shirts. They have just been doing so amazing. And I just want to thank you all for your support. You have been amazing. And, the t-shirt is, really just a great opportunity to just rep your faith. I was in the grocery store the other day and forgot that I had my t-shirt on. And this lady stopped me and she kind of whispered in my ear. She was like, "Praise the Lord." You know what I'm saying? It was so cute. So, it's just kind of cool to be able to have this t-shirt, to be able to rep your faith. It's a great conversation starter. So if you all want your own No Fear, All Faith t-shirt, be sure to go to NEECHYMadeIt.com. The web address is in the description box, and it'll also be on this video later on. All right. If you have questions about finances, about taxes, about accounting, you've applied for unemployment, but you haven't received it yet. You put your information in for a stimulus check, but you didn't get it yet. You are a gig worker or small business owner and you don't know what you can apply for still, or you have been afraid to apply for something. I want you to pay attention to this video that we're on today, and then also drop a comment, because we're going to be answering your questions today. I'm really excited because my friend is coming on the screen. She is a finance expert, a wealth expert, accounting expert, tax expert, all those things. And y'all, today she's gonna get us all straight, and she's gonna answer some of the questions that you all have. My friend Nicole Freeman-Kirkland, how you doing today?
How you doing, NEECHY? So glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited that that you are on, because this has been like the most unique time with this coronavirus, with this pandemic. So many people have questions. So many people still have questions. So many people are still wondering what finances are available to them, what they can do, how they can do. And so I'm glad that tonight we're going to be able to answer some of their questions. So before we start answering questions, tell everybody who you are, what you do, what you specialize in.
So you said it. My name is Nicole Freeman-Kirkland. I am the founder of By the Numbers. It's a CPA firm, and that's pretty much what I do. I help people with their taxes, understanding different tax laws, and the majority of my business is helping small business owners make money.
Well, I mean, that sounds like everybody on here would have some interest in what we're talking about. Yeah. So, okay, so let me just start with this. Obviously, I'm a small business owner entrepreneur. I have many friends that are entrepreneurs, business owners. In the beginning stages of this whole thing, many people were unsure about which loan a small business owner could apply for. We knew what larger businesses could do and larger corporations and things like that, but many people were unsure about what small business owners could do. So what's available to them right now as far as funding is concerned?
Okay, so the PPP, which was the loan that the SBA did with the government through the CARES Act to help with payroll expenses, to keep people employed while we were going through the corona situation, and we still are. That expired on July 31st. So really right now, the small business owners can go to the SBA, right? For the straight up just SBA loan, right? So right now they're still giving monies away under that same kind of program to help out with corona, COVID foreclosure. So they can go for that, the EIDL program.
One thing that I saw people do was there were people who made themselves available to fill out this application for others. And, I think that a lot of people probably wanted to do that because they were nervous about being able to fill it out. Some of the nervousness I also think could have been because of unsurety about whether or not paperwork was in place.
Yeah.
So help us to get rid of the fear and the unsurety about what paperwork needs to be in place just with our business in general, so that when things like this come up, that we can be prepared to apply and to move forward.
Okay, so that's the thing. When the loans initially came out, there was a lot of confusion because nobody knew. Even the banks were having issues with the whole application process. So for the most part, if you're a small business owner, they're looking at your 2019 tax return. They want to see that Schedule C, right? And for the most part, they just want to see that you're an actual business and that you have, income and expenses to determine what your profit is. That profit determines how much of a loan you get, right? So I had tons of people that were calling me and they were putting in all this information, showing losses because they thought they had to show losses to prove that they needed the income. And it's quite the reverse. They want to see that you were making money and they need to replace that under this situation. So for the most part, just have your records in order, know what your income was, what your expenses are. Even if you didn't have, the information for 2019, you can have current year information from January to now as a financial statement to enter in that information. So it's really just about having your books in order.
So if you didn't navigate your taxes, if you had not filed for your taxes in 2019, are you saying that you could still use this year's information to apply for some of the resources?
Yeah, some clients have been able to with the different grants and loans that they've been going for. I know the SBA, they pretty much just ask you they don't require you, some of the applications don't require you to actually have an upload of an actual Schedule C. They just ask you what was your income, what was your cost, and determine what your profit was, and then calculate it based off that. So there's varieties of the different programs, but it's pretty much just knowing what your income, what your expenses were, and if you had a profit. That's what you need to know.
Family, I'm telling you, I heard from so many professionals during this time about many people did not utilize what was available because paperwork was not in place. Paperwork was not in place. And so they did not apply or felt they could not apply or just felt so overwhelmed by the process because they had not taken care of the paperwork that they missed out. And so I think that this whole coronavirus thing is making all of us do a check as far as having our stuff together. Okay, I know I'm going through mine like a fine-tooth comb on a consistent basis. Like, okay, now what do I need to do? Where do I need to go? And the thing is, don't feel like you have to do it all at one time. Take it step by step, complete one thing at a time, but don't just not do anything. It is a process. All right, so as of right now, there seems to be a lot of questions about what monies are going to be available. Can a person, this is a regular worker, can a person who is employed but feels underemployed, maybe they had a W-2 type job, but their gig worker 1099 job, they lost that due to COVID, can they still apply for unemployment or apply as underemployed?
Yes, you can still do unemployment. Matter of fact, Trump just signed an executive order last night extending that additional monies that people were getting. They were getting that $600 additional monies, and it ran out in July 31st. He extended that to the end of the year. It won't be $600, but it'll be $400 additional to the regular unemployment. So there's still time to get into that unemployment bubble and apply.
So, but do you apply as if you still have some layer of a regular job?
Yeah.
Are you technically applying for unemployment? Is it the same application, or are you applying for underemployment?
So it depends if your employer is in a work share program with the state, because they have a work share where they were able to keep the person on but reduce their hours, and the unemployment would make up the difference, right? So you have that. And then you can also apply as well if you're not making what you were before as unemployment.
And so what would they need to be able to have in place to prove that? Is this the person that's the gig worker that needs to have their 1099? They just need to have a stub from 2019. What do they need to have if that is their situation? Family, what I'm talking about is sometimes I'll just use maybe a musician, for example, that has a regular daytime job. Those hours were not affected, but their weekly gig at a church as a drummer, as a musician, that gig was affected. That's income that they were accustomed to having that they no longer have and may not have for the rest of the year. This is the type of person that we're talking about with the application. So when they make that application, Is it just check stubs? Is it 1099? What is it that they need?
So unemployment typically asks for 1099 proof of what that income was, right? So they may ask for your Schedule C, they may ask for 1099 from the income you were earning, right? So you'll need to have something to upload to show proof of that income.
We're talking about anybody. You could have been family. You could have been a person that's in lawn care. You could have been any of those areas that we call a gig worker.
Right.
A gig worker, any of those areas, you can still apply. You can
Yeah.
still apply. You know, there's no need to not take advantage of the tools and resources that are available today.
Yeah, they are really giving out, and I want to say it like that, but they are giving out money right now.
Yeah.
They have gotten loans and different grants and different things like that that they wouldn't have gotten without the situation, which is unfortunate, but they are giving out money right now.
I think that this is an opportunity for us to get some things in order, for us to be reminded to get our paperwork in order and things of that nature. But also, you know, we are in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah.
And so we don't know what's going to happen 2 months from now, 3 months from now. And I remember having a conversation before, and the thought was just apply, just and see what happens. Even if you're unsure, just apply, because you never know what you're going to need.
Yeah, what I've been telling people is with them talking about, you know, the uprising again, we don't know if, like you just said, things are going to shut down again. It's time to prepare, get ready, get all the income resources you can, get the information about the housing. You know, your student loan interest can be not deferred, but, you know, suspended through December now, but you have to talk to your provider. So there's a lot of things out there right now that people can tap into just to kind of prepare for what may come next.
I want to shift gears a little bit. There's been some conversations in the, you know, in social media world lately about this whole susu thing, this whole flower thing, and about how people have been getting money's coming through their Cash App. And that made me think about just, do we, if we're using things like Cash App, using things like PayPal, those who have received X amount of dollars through Cash App, through PayPal, whatever, are there any best practices that should be taking if you are utilizing Cash App on any type of someone's, you know, paying you for a small service that you did, they're paying you through Cash App, or a friend is sending you some money through Cash App? What are the best practices so that we don't have any major issues in the future if Cash App is something that we're using on a daily basis?
Yeah, for PayPal, I'm a little more comfortable with, because there are, you know, procedures. You can call someone, talk to a live person. Cash App doesn't have that. So many people have gotten scammed calling, thinking they're calling Cash App, and they're not talking to Cash App. And then they get this link to their account and they can take out their money, you know? So much is happening with Cash App. I use Cash App for myself through the business, but I unlink my bank account very often. You know what I mean? I'm always in there linking it back if I need to. And a lot of people use the card instead of their bank account, because so many scams are going on right now, because they know people are getting these funds. They know money's flowing. So they're just like going 100 on these scams right now. So what I recommend for Cash App is just to be very careful. Don't send money to someone you don't know, like only friends, family, clients, people that you know are familiar with. Anything that looks skeptical, don't do it. Because I know a lot of stories of people that have gotten scammed through Cash App. So
is there anything that we need to prepare ourselves for, as far, you know, we're in August, getting ready to prepare for the 2020 tax year, as it pertains to things like Cash App, like PayPal, like Venmo, small business, maybe it's somebody who sells bundles, you know, but they're not on a super large scale, but they're on a small scale right now. Is there anything that they should be doing to protect themselves in this moment as it pertains to anything tax related?
When you say protect yourself, do you mean prepare for the end of the year?
Yeah. Okay. As far as tracking or keeping track or anything like that.
Well, the good thing about the two sources you talked about, PayPal and Cash App, they do track the money for you. So if they can provide a report, or you can look through that whole thing and see what you've collected money-wise, that's a good third source to document your income that you have coming in. Because the whole thing is, are you able to track your income coming in? Are you able to track your expenses? Do you have receipts everywhere? Because if you have receipts everywhere and you're not keeping track of it, you're losing the opportunity to deduct those items, right? Which means you're paying more taxes. So it's just all about organizing.
Wait, go back to what you just said. You said, go back to the sentence that you just said.
if you're not tracking your expenses, like
Yeah.
keeping track of your receipts and everything, you lose the opportunity to deduct those items. Because you're at December and you're like, oh, I had this, I had this, I had that, and you forgot about that $1,200 thing you did at the beginning of the year, and you just lost the opportunity to deduct that. So it's just really like shove them in an envelope. I tell people just keep them in one place and go through them later. But it's really now is a good time to kind of organize yourself to be ready at the end of the year to report all that to your tax provider.
Do you think it's better to navigate whatever payments or expenses out of your Cash App? Is that fine? Or do you think it's better for us to take whatever funds, transfer it to the bank account and then make payments from there? Or, is that something that we can easily manage or navigate when we get to the end of the year?
So this is the thing. I do not want to recommend Cash App to handle your business like all the time. Like Cash App is for like collecting payments from people that you can't have that contact with. It's an easy resource for that. But you want to move the money from Cash App to your bank account, because this is the key. If you can give your tax preparer, anybody that's putting together your financials to do your taxes, if you can give them bank statements from January to December with every income transaction that you've accepted, every expense by debit card or check is on there. That's all you need to give them. You don't have to dig through a bunch of receipts. As long as we know you have the backup documentation, we are good with this third-party document, and that makes your life so much easier, and your tax preparer will love you too. So everything through the bank account. Okay?
Shameless plug for tax preparers. She's giving that to the tax preparers. I found like that with my bank account, that even with some of them, that they will categorize things for you. Mm-hmm. So throughout the year, you can kind of just go in and see, automatically they'll know if you went to Amoco or BP, it's automatically put into the fuel section. And so it'll begin to calculate that for you. What are some simple programs, in business? A lot of people use QuickBooks. For a lot of people, QuickBooks has a learning curve and can be cumbersome. What are some more simpler tracking elements that people can use for their finances?
So I get a lot of people that use Wave. Wave is a free accounting program, WAVE. You have FreshBooks. QuickBooks Online is the one that most of my clients use, to be honest with you, because they can have it on their phone. They can take pictures of their, invoices, checks, and all that stuff, do their deposits. So they really like that. And I can tap into it as well to kind of review things. Because what I'm finding, my business model is shifting a lot. I'm becoming more of a financial coach because there's so many convenient accounting apps where they don't need that type of service. They need someone to go in and say, oh, that's not right, fix that, da, 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 da. You know what I mean? And I kind of like that because it allows me to have that one-on-one coaching type thing. So QuickBooks Online, FreshBooks, Wave are the three that I know are really friendly, user-friendly, and mobile.
Family, I hope you were taking notes today, because that was a load of information. By the end of this conversation today, I hope you're preparing to apply for any grant, resource, loan. Before I go through that whole list, let me go back to the loan for a second. Let me go back to the pandemic aid or coronavirus support loans that are out there. There are some that are forgivable, right, and some that you have to pay back regardless. Can you give us kind of the side by side of that?
All right. So if you are applying for a grant, that's just money given to you. You don't have to worry about paying that back. If you receive PPP funds, those are forgivable if you use the money that's allocated. 60% payroll to keep your staff and 40% other, which is rent, utilities, right? So anything out of that parameter may not be forgiven. And at that point, it becomes a loan over 5 years at 1%. So it's still a nice loan, but the goal is to get it all forgiven. So that's the difference between the two.
And the key to that will be keeping track of your finances so that you can prove that you actually paid with it what you said you were going to pay with it.
Even if you paid yourself, you just need to show that money coming from the funds that you got for the PPP to your account as payments to yourself. And that's just bank statements. So it's not as complicated as they make it seem. You just got to show where the money went.
Family, there is support. There are finances. There are resources. I know. In the beginning, this thing was crazy. Like, nobody was fully sure on what the situation was going to be. Nobody was fully sure on if they were going to receive, if they weren't. Nobody was fully sure if the banks had proper representation and support. But I think that we've seen and heard from enough people that have received funds and finances that really, it kind of just boils down to our persistence, keeping track, making sure that we have our finances together so that we can do it. And if you don't have them, call Nicole, who is amazing. She is in Michigan, but she has clients around the world. She can navigate and coach you virtually. Okay, this is easy. It's a phone call, it's an email. This is easy. Nicole, I tell everybody how they can contact you, how they can call you, how they can email you, what website. Just give them everything.
Okay, so the website is by the numbers with a Z, by the numbers CPA.com. The phone number is 586-296-0771. And my email is nkirkland at by the numbers with a Z, CPA.com.
Yeah, I'm excited, you guys, because I think that to know that there is support available. This has been a very unique time for so many people. And, you know, to know that there is support, that there are resources available, and that maybe it's just a phone call to kind of get you into the space where you need to be so you can get what you need to get, I think is refreshing. So I hope that you guys were, that this was informative for you. Nicole's going to come back with us again in a couple of weeks, and we're going to ask her some more questions and ask her some more of your questions. And just hopefully during this month of August, we can get this money situation together, locked and loaded, so that not just because we may encounter another layer of this pandemic, but just so that we can just kind of start being on point with our stuff.
Yeah, it was a wake-up call for a lot. Mm-hmm.
It was a wake-up call. It was a wake-up call for me. You know, it was a wake-up call. Okay. So Nicole, thank you so much. Tell them again how they can find you online and on and by phone.
Sure. My email is nkirkland at by the numbers with a Z, CPA.com. And the phone number is 586-296-0771.
Yeah, you guys, I'm just excited. I'm glad that we had this opportunity to chat. When we get off of this broadcast, I want you guys to make sure that you just flood Nicole's inbox. You're on Facebook, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So flood her inbox. I'll make sure your information is in the description box and all that, so that you all can flood her inbox and so that you can find her, so you can see her, so that you can talk to her, and she can help you to get this straight. Nicole, thank you so much. And we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you.
All right, you guys, don't you feel better? Don't you feel better now that you know that there is help, that there are resources? You know, I do a series called I'm a Boss. And one of the parts of being a boss is navigating that money side of it. You know, it's not just receive and spend. It's also making sure that all of our stuff is in order so that we can have access to all the tax breaks, all the information, all the grants, all of the opportunities where we can have things that are forgivable, like the loan that, she shared that was forgivable. So during this month of August, I'm going to come on every single Monday during the month of August and share with you guys insight, updates, tips, ideas on what you can do so that we can go into this fall season with our money tight. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be tight. All right. If you guys haven't already done so, I want you to make sure you go to NEECHYMADEIT.com and grab your t-shirt, www.NEECHYMADEIT.com, and grab your No Fear Off a t-shirt. Why? Because it's dope. Why? Because it's awesome to rep your faith. Okay. Also, you can text the letters NEECHY to the number 797979. And if you want to support this platform, if you like what you saw today and you want to help us to be able to bring on more people that can help us all, you can send a Cash App to $NEECHY. Cash App $NEECHY, or to paypal.me/NEECHY. All that information will be in the description box as well. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to tune in next week, Monday, same time, same place. Bring a friend because it's going to be dope. All right. God bless you guys. Talk to you soon.